Good morning, everyone. My name is Linda Henderson, and I'm on the board here at Buckeye. And today I am going to read you a story that you may be a little bit familiar with. I'm sure many of you already know the story of Little Red Riding Hood. But this book is called Lon Popo. It is the story of Little Red Riding Hood as it would be told in China. Now, there's something you should know before we begin. In China, they don't call their grandmothers Granny or Grandma or Nana. They call their grandmothers Popo. So when you hear Popo, you know that we're talking about grandmother. Once, long ago, there was a woman who lived alone in the country with her 3 children, Shang, Teo, and Potes. One day, it was their grandmother's birthday, and the good mother set off to see her, leaving the 3 children at home. Before she left, she said, "Be good while I am away, my heart-loving children. I will not return tonight. Remember to close the door tight at sunset and latch it well." But there was an old wolf that lived nearby and saw the good mother leave. At dusk, he disguised himself as an old woman, and he came to the house of the children and knocked on the door twice. Bang, bang. Shang, who was the eldest, said through the latched door, "Who is it?" "My little jewel," said the wolf. "This is your grandmother, Popo." "Popo," Shang said, "our mother has gone to see you." The wolf acted surprised. "To visit me? I have not met her along the way. She must have taken a different route." "Popo," Shang said, "how is it that you come so late?" The wolf answered, "The journey is long, my children, and the day is short." Shang listened through the door. "Popo," she said, "why is your voice so low?" "Your grandmother has caught a cold, good children, and it is dark and windy out here. Quickly, open up and let your Popo come in," the wolf cunningly said. Teo and Potes could not wait. One unlatched the door and the other opened it, and they shouted, "Popo, Popo, come in." At that moment he entered the door, and the wolf blew out the candle. "Popo," Shang asked, "why did you blow out the candle? The room is now dark." The wolf did not answer. Teo and Potes rushed to their Popo and wished to be hugged. The old wolf said to Teo, "Good child, you are so plump." He embraced Potes. "Good child, you have grown to be so sweet." Soon the old wolf pretended to be sleepy. He yawned. "All the chicks are in the coop," he said. "Popo is sleepy too." And then he climbed into the big bed. Potes climbed in at one end with the wolf, and Shang and Teo climbed in at the other. But when Shang stretched, she touched the wolf's tail. "Popo, your foot has a bush on it." "Popo has brought hemp string to weave you a basket," the wolf said. Shang touched grandmother's sharp claws. "Popo, your hand has thorns on it." "Oh, Popo has brought an awl to make shoes for you," the wolf said. At once, Shang lit the light, and the wolf blew it out again. But Shang had seen the wolf's hairy face. "Popo," she said, for she was not only the oldest, she was the most clever. "You must be hungry. Have you eaten ginkgo nuts?" "What is ginkgo?" the wolf asked. "Ginkgo is soft and tender, like the skin of a baby. One taste and you will live forever." "The nuts grow on the tree, just outside the door," Shang said. The wolf gave a sigh. "Oh dear, Popo is old and her bones have become brittle. No longer can she climb trees." "Good, Popo, we can pick some for you," Shang said. And the wolf was delighted. Shang jumped out of bed, and Teo and Potes came with her to the ginkgo tree, and there Shang told her sisters about the wolf, and the 3 climbed the tall tree. The wolf waited and waited. Plump Teo did not come back. Sweet Potes did not come back. And Shang did not come back. And no one brought any nuts from the ginkgo tree. At last the wolf shouted, "Where are you, children?" Popo, Shang called out. We're on the top of the tree eating ginkgo nuts. Good children, the wolf begged. Pluck some for me. But Popo, ginkgo is magic only when you pluck it directly from the tree. You must come and pluck it from the tree yourself. The wolf came outside and paced back and forth under the tree, where he heard the children eating ginkgo nuts at the top. Oh, Popo, these nuts are tasty, and the skin is so tender, Shang said. The wolf's mouth began to water for the taste. Finally, Shang, the eldest and the most clever child, said, Popo, I have a plan. At the door there is a big basket, and behind it is a rope. Tie the rope to the basket and sit in the basket and throw the other end up so I can pull you up. The wolf was overjoyed and fetched the basket and the rope and then threw one end of the rope to the top of the tree. Shang caught the rope and began to pull up the basket, up and up. Halfway, she let the rope go and the basket fell to the ground. Oh, I'm so small and weak, Popo, Shang pretended. I could not hold the rope alone. This time, I will help, Teo said. Let's do it again. The wolf had only one thought in mind, to taste those ginkgo nuts. He climbed into the basket again, and now Shang and Teo pulled the rope together, and the wolf went higher and higher. And again they let go, and the wolf tumbled down and bumped his head. The wolf was furious. He growled and cursed. We could not hold the rope, Popo, Shang said, but only one ginkgo nut and you will be well again. I shall give a hand to my sisters this time, said Potes, the youngest, and this time we shall not fail. Now the children pulled the rope with all their strength. As they pulled, they sang, hey, yo, and the basket rose straight up, higher and higher, higher than the first time, and higher than the second time, and it nearly reached the top of the tree. When the wolf reached out, he could almost touch the highest branch. But at that moment, Shang coughed, and they let go of the rope, and the basket fell down and down and down, and not only did the wolf bump his head, but he broke his heart into pieces. Popo, Shang shouted, but there was no answer. Popo, Teo shouted, but there was no answer. Popo, Pote shouted. There was still no answer. The children climbed to the branch just above the wolf and saw that he was truly dead. Then they climbed down, went into the house and closed the door, locked the door with the latch, and fell peacefully asleep. The next day, their mother returned with baskets of food from their real Popo, and the three sisters told the story of the Popo who had come that night. And that's the story. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy reading.